Yeah, a little bit of spice to them. Yeah, it is in the seeds, isn't it? Oh, you want some green ones then?
So today we're just making some hot chili sauce. So we went out to the garden and my son harvested some chilies and some tomatoes. We already had harvested some onions, so we just grabbed them as they were drying under the back veranda. We grabbed some green tomatoes as well. A lot of salsas call for green tomatoes, and because I didn't have many ripe tomatoes, we just went with some green ones also. So what we ended up doing to start with was just dicing up all the tomatoes and putting them in a saucepan. We just wanted to simmer them down just a little bit before we started simmering anything else, as we're using the magical butter machine later on to process the sauce, which does have a bit of heat to it. So I just wanted to break down the tomatoes just that little bit more, so we used the saucepan for that part of it. So just dice them up pretty small. So once I'd finished dicing up the tomatoes, I just moved on to the onions. So these are just like shallot onions. It's what we had harvested from our garden, so that's what we used. Dice them up pretty small also. Then we grabbed some garlic and I just like squashed them down, removed the outer dry layer of it, and then got my son to start dicing up. Once my son had finished dicing up the garlic, I had him dice up all the chilies for me. I would normally use gloves for this part because I always tend to touch my eyes or something I shouldn't be touching once I've chopped up chili. So instead of me getting some gloves, my son offered to dice them up for me, and he doesn't seem to have a problem with chili, so it worked out well. The recipe we were using called for cornstarch to thicken the sauce. Now we didn't want to use cornstarch, so I'd actually made these zucchini chips, which you can see to the right of the screen, and they had a bit of turmeric and chili powder already on them from when I dehydrated them. So what I did was just grabbed a handful of them, put them through the NutriBullet, blended them down, and made a flour out of that to thicken the hot chili sauce. We ended up putting all of the ingredients, the chilies, the garlic, the onion, and the tomato all in together with this saucepan, just gave it a light simmer quickly. Then we proceeded to add it all to the magical butter machine. It actually smelled really good at this point too. So what I ended up adding to this recipe was 1 cup of apple cider vinegar, 1 cup of white wine vinegar, and 1 cup of just plain white vinegar. I did want to do 3 cups of the apple cider vinegar, but I didn't have enough, and I also didn't have enough of the white vinegar. I only had 1 cup of each of those, so this is why I use 3 different types of vinegars, but in the future I'll be just using apple cider vinegar. I was trying to make maple hot chili sauce, so I thought I had maple syrup in the cupboard, and I didn't, so I used 3 tablespoons of golden syrup. It wasn't enough, but in the future I'll be using maple syrup, and it has a stronger taste, so I'll have to touch on that next time I make it. Then I just added a little bit of the zucchini flour to help thicken. So the settings for the magical butter machine was 160 degrees Fahrenheit and 1 hour, just the 2 buttons, and it was ready to go. So the next obstacle we had was trying to get the sauce into the bottle. It was nice and thick, and I did not have a funnel, so it was going everywhere. We ended up cutting a pump bottle in half and getting it in that way. But you could check out the bloopers after this. But it was a really nice sauce. Definitely try it yourself.